Some moments in life hit you so unexpectedly that they stop you in your tracks. And sometimes, the smallest mistake, something as simple as sending a text to the wrong person, can turn into the beginning of a story you never saw coming. That's exactly what happened to a single dad who thought he was texting a friend, but ended up messaging the coldest, most intimidating CEO in the entire company. And what she did just 5 minutes later, no one could have predicted. Before we dive into this story, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment to support the channel. It really helps us grow and bring you more stories like this. This is Kindness Tales, where every story reminds us that the world still has good people. Now, let's begin. Ryan Parker was a 34-year-old single dad trying his best to hold everything together. Between getting his son Mason to school, juggling his job in tech support, and keeping the bills paid, life wasn't easy, but he never complained. He had one rule: keep moving forward, one day at a time. Still, some days felt heavier than others. Like that Friday evening. Ryan had just finished a 12-hour shift, and exhaustion wrapped around him like a thick blanket. His back ached, his head throbbed, and all he wanted was one moment of laughter. So he opened his phone, typed a silly, flirtatious message meant for his best friend, something like, "If you don't bring pizza, I'm filing a complaint. Also, you looked suspiciously cute today. Might need to investigate further." He hit send. And then froze. Because the name at the top wasn't his friend's. It was Ms. Aurora Stone, CEO of the company. A woman known for steel-cold professionalism, zero tolerance for mistakes, and a stare sharp enough to slice through metal. She didn't smile. She didn't joke. She didn't do small talk. And no one, absolutely no one, sent her flirty messages. Ryan's heart punched his ribs. He felt heat rise to his face. His phone slipped from his hands and hit the couch. "Oh no, 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 no," he whispered. He considered packing his desk right then. This was it. One accidental text, and he was done. He grabbed his phone again, thumbs shaking, trying to type an apology. But before he could send anything, his phone buzzed. A message from her. Address? Ryan stared at the screen. His mouth dropped open. She wanted his address? Was she going to fire him in person? Serve him legal papers? Freeze his soul with her icy CEO glare? He didn't respond. 5 seconds later another message arrived. "I'm on my way." He panicked. Mason, his 10-year-old son, tugged on his sleeve and asked, "Dad, why do you look like you saw a ghost?" He didn't answer. He couldn't. Because headlights suddenly flashed through the living room window. A sleek black car rolled up to the house. Ryan's heart nearly stopped. She actually came. Aurora Stone stepped out, wearing a long gray coat, her dark hair pulled back in its usual perfect knot. She looked like she walked straight out of a business magazine. No expression. No emotion. Just, calm. And frightening. Ryan opened the door slowly. "Ms. Stone," he said, voice cracking, I didn't mean." But she lifted a hand. "May I come in?" Ryan stepped aside, terrified. Mason stood behind him, gripping his arm. The house wasn't a mess, but it wasn't CEO ready either. Toys in corners. Old couch. A dish or two in the sink. It screamed single dad surviving life. Aurora glanced around, her eyes softening just a fraction, as if she wasn't expecting a home like this. Then her gaze landed on Mason. "Hello," she said gently. No one had ever heard the cold CEO speak gently. Mason blinked, nervous. "Hi." Aurora turned to Ryan. "I'm not here to fire you." Ryan nearly collapsed with relief. "You're not?" "No," she said quietly. "Your message made me laugh." Ryan's eyes widened so much he felt like they might fall out. Laugh? You? She gave the smallest, shyest smile. It's been a long time since anyone made me feel anything other than stress. Ryan didn't know what to say. His mouth opened, but before a word came out, Mason tugged Aurora's coat lightly. Do you want to sit down? My dad made hot chocolate earlier. It's kinda good. Aurora looked genuinely touched. I'd like that. So she sat, on their old couch. In their small home. With a cup of hot chocolate Mason insisted on making fresh. And for the first time, Ryan saw her, not the CEO, but the woman. Tired. Lonely. Carrying pressure no one ever acknowledged. Her shoulders relaxed as she wrapped her hands around the warm mug. I know I have a reputation, she said softly. People think I'm cold. Maybe I am. But I wasn't always like that. Life just demanded armor. Ryan nodded. He understood. More than she realized. Then she looked at him, really looked. That message, she said, was the first time in years someone spoke to me like I was human. Not a boss. Not a title. Just a person. Ryan swallowed hard. It was meant as a joke. Something to make a friend smile. It made me smile, she whispered. Silence settled, warm, not awkward. The kind that feels like two people understanding each other without needing many words. Mason plopped onto the couch beside Aurora without fear. You must be super busy, he said. My dad works a lot too. But he still plays video games with me. Do you play? Aurora shook her head. I haven't played anything in, maybe 15 years. Mason gasped dramatically. That's illegal. She actually laughed. A real, soft laugh. Something shifted in that moment. The CEO, who walked in looking like winter, began to melt. Bit by bit. She stayed for almost an hour, talking about life, asking Mason about school, telling Ryan about the pressures she never shared with anyone. She admitted she hadn't visited a home in years, not since she lost her parents and buried herself in work. Before she left, she stood at the door, hands in her coat pockets. Ryan, she said gently, thank you for tonight. He blinked. For accidentally texting you? For being kind when you didn't have to be. He smiled softly. Kindness doesn't cost anything. She nodded. But it changes everything. She walked back to her car, but before getting in, she turned around. About that flirty message. Ryan froze again. She smirked the tiniest bit. Next time, make sure it's not a mistake. His heart nearly burst. Then she drove away into the night, leaving Ryan standing there, stunned, but somehow lighter, warmer, hopeful. Over the next weeks, everything changed. Aurora began stopping by the office with a smile. She asked Ryan about Mason, about his day, about life. She made small efforts, soft efforts, like bringing him coffee or checking if he needed help. Their conversations grew longer. Their moments grew sweeter. And little by little, the cold CEO became human again. Not because someone flirted with her. But because someone treated her with simple, genuine kindness. Sometimes kindness doesn't look grand. It doesn't roar or shine. Sometimes it's a silly message, a cup of hot chocolate, a child offering a seat, or a moment of understanding between two tired hearts. And those small acts? They can thaw the coldest walls, heal the quietest wounds, and open doors no one expected. In a world full of noise and rushing and pressure, remember Ryan's story. Kindness isn't weakness. It's courage. It's connection. It's hope. And it can change someone's life, sometimes 5 minutes after a mistake. So go out there. Be gentle. Be warm. Be kind. You never know whose